and I'm just going to dive into the topic before me this evening. I know it must have been a long day already, but it's great to be here. And the topic before me is how to choose the right man and not settle. My name is Jacqueline Oludimu. I'm popularly known as the marriage evangelist. One of the core assignments over my life is to see many singles and many couples enjoy their marriage and have a marriage of purpose and of bliss. It is possible. It's my reality. And as many more women and, couples, singles should experience that as well. And so I wanted to start with the idea of not submitting or not falling under pressure to marry. And I was trying to use the context of what we do when we try to cook a meal of beans, in the pressure cooker. It goes through rigorous heating process. It goes through an abnormal cooking system to make it cook faster, to make it happen faster. And that's why we can't go near it. We can't even open it all of a sudden because it's quite dangerous. And what happens is when we get under pressure in the name of, people are asking me to get married, it's about time to get married. What happens is we fall for that, and it's never really a good thing because we haven't done marriage or gone into marriage for the right reason. So I was trying to give an analogy, but I don't think we have the time for that full picture. But how do you choose, the right person for you? Yesterday, I was listening to a gentleman. He's one of the top 3 male artists from Nigeria, global stage, Grammy, and all that. And you would know who I'm talking about. But they asked him a question yesterday, and I saw it yesterday, actually. So I don't know if it was yesterday. Let me correct that. But they asked him a question about why he didn't have any child yet, especially with kind of things happening around. And he was saying that he didn't have a child. And I think I put a note here that he didn't have a child yet because he wanted to, and I'll read it out. He said, I want to be as good as a parent to my children as my parents were and still are to me and my sisters. Until I'm confident that I can be stable and settle with the mother of my kids, I can't have kids. And for a second, I thought, wow, he got the memo. He got the memo about the fact that marriage is such a visionary thing to do. And that's where I'm starting from today. And I want us to think about that very short story. He said, until I'm ready to give as much as I was given, do you see? I'm not going to do it. So it means that the marriage of his parents, the parenting of, that he has enjoyed, has put a mark on him, a mark in his heart about how he's going to do his. And so this is where I want you to start thinking about marriage from. That marriage is a visionary thing. It's something we do that leaves a legacy, that leaves an impact, that leaves a footprint forever. Think about our parents' marriage. Think about your parents' marriage and the mark it has left on your heart. And so because of that, it now makes you think about what image, what impression am I going to leave behind with my marriage, and it starts from who you choose. And so I started to, on that part to let us know that marriage is one of the visionary things that you'd ever do, and you cannot do, or you cannot choose who you want to marry without vision. And this is where I'm starting from. What is vision? What is vision? Vision is the mental picture of your future. It is an idea of what the future can hold, but has not yet happened. So do you see, it's not like you have a full picture, but you have an idea of where you're going to. You have an idea of the purpose of your life. And then you can talk about choosing a partner from this point. Until you have this glimpse, you should not be talking about choosing a partner. So this is your first step of how to choose a partner and to avoid settling. Now, there are 3 questions that I take my clients through to ensure that they are at the place where they should be thinking about choosing a marriage partner. The first question is, think about yourself as a product. It's a whole lot, and I definitely 10 minutes won't take it. But think of yourself as a product. Think of yourself as a product made by a manufacturer. And you all know that we have our creator, isn't it? And your creator had something in mind when you were made, had, a plan, had, features. So the way I'm wired is not the way. have 4 minutes. Okay. And so you have to think about yourself as a product. So think about your features, your values, the things that, make up who you are. So this whole Jacqueline Oladipo, what's the configuration? Think about that when you want to think about who to marry. The second thing is to now say, what's the image of my life I have received? What is the capacity I have been called to, the desires, the big picture that I have received? What's my life purpose? This is very, very important. The third thing you're going to ask yourself is, how do I want to experience marriage? As heaven or as hell? Because many people enjoy marriage as heaven on earth, or as hell on earth. So it can be blissful, it can be loving, it can be purposeful. Those should be your words. And so if you have thought about these three things, then you have vision to run with. If you have your answers from these three questions, it's a whole lot. But if you sit with it, then you have vision to now begin to say, who do I want to choose? And the beautiful thing about that is that you will not be settling if you are making a marriage choice with vision. To not settle is to let your life's vision, your big picture, make a choice for you. To not settle is to let your manufacturer make a choice for you. And so it's important to know that if you make your marriage choice, your marital choice without vision, you will be settling. I wanted us to get that out of the way. And so having said that, I want to now talk about a few things that would help us even as we think about, choosing a life partner. There are so many things I could have said today, but I'm going to start by saying, please, age will never be a criteria. I want you to start by saying the first thing is, how self-aware are you? How self-aware are you? How matured are you? And how matured is that person? So when you're looking for someone, and please, everything I say about the person is also what you need to be. Do you see? You have to be the right person to choose the right person. Exactly. So you're also going to attract to yourself who you are. Okay. So I was talking about self-awareness, self-mastery. Those are the kind of things that you should be looking out for. I know and there's no time for stories. Okay. So I'm going to leave that out of what I wanted to say, but please, maturity would be the next thing. And when I say maturity, it's that same emotional intelligence that we use at work, that we use with our business partners and our colleagues and our vendors. It's the same thing we need. If you don't see it in someone, if you don't see that maturity in someone, don't go on to choose them as a partner. I'm telling you, it would backfire again and again and again in many ways, in boundaries, in how they treat you, in how they handle every conflict you have, and a whole lot of other stuff. But look out also for spiritual intelligence. So when I talked about maturity, I was talking about emotional intelligence. Look out for spiritual intelligence. This is that part where I was telling you about being connected to your manufacturer, knowing that there's a plan somewhere, and connecting to that by revelation, connecting to that by awareness. And so having spiritual intelligence, that's also what you should look out for. Because at the end of the day, if someone doesn't have that, then you should be worried about what they're submitting to, what is leading them, and how they will lead you. One of the things I wanted to say today is that remember that being a woman, you are supposed to be the bride, and the husband you marry is meant to be the bridegroom. So one of the things you should look out for is a man who really can be a bridegroom. A bridegroom means he's going to groom you. So as beautiful as you are, as learned as you are, as see how you're building yourself, just being on this on this learning platform, as robust as you are, and empowered as you are still meant to end up in the hands of a man who is still going to groom you, who is going to see to it that you blossom, that you bloom. I want you to imagine yourself as a sunflower that is still covered up right now. Yes, no matter how successful you are already, no matter how groundbreaking and global you are, I want you to think about yourself, as a sunflower that hasn't yet, that isn't yet opened up. So all covered up, how the sunflower looks when it's all covered up. That's how a bride is when, they get married. It is in the context of a great marriage. It is in the context of a loving, garden of marriage with her husband that a woman begins to blossom and, the yellow flowers begin to open up. That's my story. That's the story of many successful women that we look up to. And that's what should happen to you. Now,